Hello students. In the previous few classes, we have already finished the first chapter of your party book. And students, today you can see that in the very beginning, I have inserted a picture of a food chain. And I hope students that you are well aware of the meaning of food chains because you have got this topic in your science book. But still, let me tell you about this. That a food chain shows how a set of living creatures are dependent on each other for food. It has arrows to show which organism is eaten by which. So students, in the picture itself you can see that how the animals and insects are dependent on each other. But now student, here you may have a question that why am I asking a question of science in your English class? Because students, today we are going to start with your second chapter, which provides you a good description of these food chains. And the name of the chapter is Cats, Rats and Bugs in Borneo. Now student, first of all, let me read it out for all of you. It all started with mosquitoes and flies. The kind of mosquitoes on the hot, steamy island of Borneo can infect people with malaria, a deadly disease. The mosquitoes breed in Borneo swamps and rainforests. So, some years ago, the World Health Organization decided to get rid of the mosquitoes by spraying the island with great quantities of an insect poison called DDT. Soon after spraying, a weird thing happened. The thatched roofs of houses began collapsing. Hundreds of caterpillars were devouring the roofs. There had always been caterpillars around, but not many, because a certain kind of wasp ate them. But the DDT killed the wasp along with the mosquitoes. The caterpillars were not affected much by the DDT. So, without wasps to stop them, they munched and crunched and chewed up the roofs. So, students, this much for today. We shall read about this first three paragraphs only today. Now, students, let me provide you a short summary of whatever we have discussed today. So, students, this story is about a small island whose name is Borneo. And students, here you can see that I have inserted the picture of the world map, and here you can look at the Borneo island. And it is an island of Asia, and it is one of the largest island in Asia. And like students, we have lots of island in our country like Majuli, Andaman Nicobar, etc. Like these islands, Borneo is one of such island which we can find in the continent of Asia. And I hope that you also know that India is also in the Asia continent. And students, this island Borneo, it has territories of three countries, and they are Malaysia, Indonesia and Brunei. Means like this island belongs to three countries, not a particular country. Like this Majuli, Andaman Nicobar, they belongs to only our country, that is India. But this island Borneo, it was one of the largest island of Asia. That's why it belonged to three countries, and they are Malaysia, Indonesia and Brunei. Now, so there was a problem with the island, that there were a large swarm of flies and mosquitoes there. And students, this island Borneo, it was a very hot island. And in this hot island, there the presence of this kind of insects like flies and mosquitoes, which are they are in a very large quantity. They can infect the people of Borneo with a very deadly disease, that is malaria. And students, the mosquitoes, I may tell you that um, the mosquitoes used to live in the swamps and rainforests of this island. And students, actually, the mosquitoes and the flies, they lays eggs in the stagnant waters of the swamps and rainforest. And from these eggs, slowly, because of this stagnant water, the deadly disease that malaria, it just got spread. That's why the people of Borneo were at very risk of having this deadly disease, that is malaria, because the island was full of swamps and rainforest, which means there were a lot of stagnant water in that island. So in order to avoid the spread of the deadly malaria virus, the WHO, means the World Health Organization. And student, the World Health Organization is an international organization that aims to fight and control diseases in different countries and areas. So the World Health Organization sprayed DDT in that island of Borneo. And student, the DDT is an insect poison. It killed the mosquitoes and flies of Borneo. But what happened then? You may think that now the people of Borneo are free from the deadly disease malaria. And yes, of course, now they are free from the disease. But right after finding out a solution of this problem, the people of Borneo encountered another new problem, because after few days of spraying the DDT, a strange thing happened in Borneo. Be- the and it is that the thatched roofs of houses, you can see in the picture that the most of the houses of Borneo had thatched roofs. Means the roofs were made out of dried straws, leaves, and other parts of the plants. So what happened, students? After spraying the DDT, the thatched roofs of the people, it started collapsing on their heads. But why? Because DDT killed the parasitic wasps that ate thatch-eating caterpillars. Means earlier there were existence of flies and mosquitoes in Borneo and some other wasps that used to kill or eat the caterpillars of that village, Borneo. But as soon as the wasp had also been died because of that DDT, now the caterpillars became out of control, and there were no wasps were left out to kill or eat that caterpillars. That's why the caterpillar used to started eating all the thatched roofs of the houses of the Borneo. And soon almost all the houses of Borneo, they started collapsing one after another. So now, students, you can see that after making solution to a huge problem, now the people encountered another huge problem. Now, what will be the solution of saving their houses? So, student, the answer of this question we shall discuss it tomorrow. And this is the end of today's class. Today we have read only first three paragraphs, and tomorrow we shall proceed further. And student, from today's class, your first work is to identify the difficult word from these three paragraphs and tell me in the comment section. And tomorrow I'll give you the meanings of that words. And your second task is the home assignment. Here I have mentioned one question for you. Please try to do it by yourself. And student, please write down the question in your classwork copy, as now all of you have got your copies and books. So this much enough for today. Tomorrow we shall proceed with the next paragraphs. Thank you so much.